Okay, I think I'm live. Just trying to get up the video on my iPad so I could see comments as they come in. How's it going, everybody? It is Sunday morning and I've got a lot of work to do, but I really fancy drawing Groot, so that's what I'm going to do. But just hold on for a second while I try and get this going. For some reason, I can't open the chat. So I'm a noob. I'm a bit of a goob. That'll do ya. Okay, so where's the chat? Live chat. Okie dokie, I'm all ready to go. So I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2 yet, and so I'm no spoilers, people, because I try not to watch any trailers or anything. And if people know, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite Marvel movie so far. And hey Rick, how's it going? Yeah, Guardians is my favorite movie so far. And I don't watch trailers and all that stuff, so I'd really like to not know anything about it. So going into it blind is the best way. So I haven't been able to see the movie yet. I just got a new puppy, so that's been keeping me very busy. So I have to wait to go and see it. And we also want to see it in this fancy movie theater where you like sort of sit down and stuff with giant sofas and you have a mini fridge and it's like a really fancy theater. So oh, there's a raccoon in it? Okay, good to know. So I'm just drawing Groot here. I haven't drawn Groot in a very long time. The only time I got to draw Groot professionally, I don't think I can even say that, is in Star-Lord, which was the first comic I did with Marvel. And he was a very different looking Groot. Like, I really like the movie look of Groot, but kind of blended into like a comic sense. Because he kind of like had like these vine dreadlocks in that book, which I was not really into. He looked like the Rastafarian version of Groot. So I like the sort of, big giant sweetheart Groot. And I like drawing Groot because you can't really mess up. He's a giant tree. You can pretty much draw him any way you fancy, and it's not going to go badly. Have you seen this guy, James Ray? He's known as the box office artist. He spent 7 months to do the most massive illustration of ever Star Wars movie. I do know the box office artist. I've seen a couple of his videos. I watched his videos talking about how his stories of trying to, when he broke in, and then kind of his fallout with staying in the business and stuff like that, which was kind of like good tips for me of how to not mess around with your editors and stuff like that. But no, I haven't seen that piece of work yet. I don't watch him regularly. I just catch whatever is going. So what I'm doing here is I'm using his bark, but I'm still mimicking human anatomy a little bit. Not too much, but enough so that it kind of looks humanoid. So I'm doing like some neck muscle stuff here. Maybe a tree branch for these ligaments that connect. It's fun stuff like that with Groot. I mean, honestly, if Marvel gave me just a Groot book to do, I'd be very happy. Luna's good. She yesterday we came downstairs and she had explosive diarrhea all over her pen, and then when I went to pick her up, she immediately went frantic, and then I had explosive diarrhea all over me. So that was fun. But besides that, she's been good. And people don't know, I just got a French bulldog puppy, and she's lovely. She hangs out with me in the office while I'm at work. But she is still a puppy, so she's still got lots to learn, and she's definitely making some mistakes, but she's mostly potty trained. She likes to go outside because she knows she gets a treat. But besides that, she's still a bit naughty. She's testing her boundaries, basically. She's a puppy. Yeah, she is very cute. If anybody's watching you and you want to see her, she has her own Instagram, which my fiance started. And I think you just have to search Luna the Frenchie, and she's just a little white Frenchie. But she just went to the vets and she got her vaccination. So she is now, next Friday, able to finally go outside and go on walks and things, which I'm really looking forward to. You followed my dog before me. I get it. My fiance posted one thing and it got like 670 likes, and I was like, Jesus, like, she got more likes than I have followers on Instagram. But I get it. She's a cute dog, and all my art is terrible, so I understand. So I'm trying to draw a finger here. I'm going to have a little bird resting on his hand, and he's kind of looking at it like, ah, because Groot's a sweetheart. I just see him as basically a big, soppy mess. Like, he should love nature and stuff. He is nature. And I just love the fact that you can just sketch it out. The anatomy doesn't need to be perfect or anything. I sort of make like his teeth, like just the sticking out bits of the bark there. So he doesn't have teeth. I mean, I think he does have teeth, but that to me, if he does have teeth, then that's the creepiest thing in the world, because like no tree has like dentures. That's just frightening. It's like when you see like the old Teenage Ninja Turtle movies, and they have like these perfect like straight white teeth. It like grosses me out. Changing up his eyes a bit, because I didn't like what was going on. So I'm kind of moving more towards doing sketch shots than post-it notes, only because post-it notes are really annoying to store. But sketch cards, like I have a book, like one of those old books where you keep like baseball cards together. It's like I've just been putting all my sketch cards in that, and it looks cool. Also, I am launching my own website very soon. It's almost done, with a cool guy called Adam Fitch, and he's been working super hard on that. And it will be launching pretty soon, and you'll be able to buy all the sketch cards and even original pages from books I've done all there, and see what projects I'm working on. There'll be tutorial vids up there and all that good stuff. made his pupils too big. Oh, sorry, hit the camera. I haven't decided how to do his eyes yet, because a lot of people do his eyes differently. This is going to be fun to ink. If anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to ask. And draw some sort of little robin here. I'm not looking at, even if you said not a spoiler, I'm not reading what you said because I've been avoiding everything about the film. So I don't want to know anything. I don't watch trailers. I don't read into spoilers or anything. And even if it doesn't spoil anything, I just don't want to know. Hey, how's it going? Thanks. I just had it catching a worm, but I think that brings a bit of chaos to the peacefulness of Groot looking at a little bird. Maybe I'll just have it singing or something. Hey Ben, how's it going? Mr. El Marvo. Or one of the Mr. El Marvos. Ben in the chat, I did the cover for their successfully launched Kickstarter book, El Marvo. Might put some music notes or something. Even though I think I only know one music note. I think I'm adding too much stupid detail that doesn't need to be there. I don't even know how to draw music notes. You had to draw music notes in Great Lakes Avengers, and I just made a brush out of all these different music notes and just kind of just went like that, and it just drew a bunch of music notes. That's the wonders of working digitally. As you can see, I've been avoiding his eyes because I'm still haven't decided exactly how I want to tackle them yet. And little little bit of greenery to the trunks coming out of his head. Some more branches and stuff. Does anyone know, is there like a planet of Groots, or is he like the last of his kind or something? Is there a planet Groot? Still not sure how I want to do those pupils, because he looks a bit creepy with just little dots. I think I might just make them big so that they don't look so messed up. It's kind of just like that. Yeah, that's good. So basically, to do like the bark and stuff like that, I'm just thinking about like an actual human's face, the way like wrinkles go, you know, the crow's feet here and stuff, but just treating it more like bark, so it's a bit more sporadic and broken and stuff. Like, again, like if you can't draw, like just draw Groot, because like it's just, you just get to make stuff up. Yes, someone asked if Great Lakes Avengers is going to end. It has ended. The last issue came out this past Wednesday, I believe. Or it could have been the Wednesday before. It was the Wednesday before, actually. And yeah, it ended. Deadpool came and he told everybody that they've been fired. Which is funny, if you watch on my channel, you'll see I was inking that page where he came in and fired everybody. But fear not. I mean, it sucks that Great Lakes Avengers is over. But, you know, there's that new Warriors show that will have some Great Lakes Avengers in it, and I bet that will get some traction and bring them back, hopefully. But that's not to say that I'll be coming back to do them. But thank you, everybody that came along for the ride on that. That was my first Marvel series. And now, sorry, I just hit the camera. Now I'm off doing Spider-Man and Deadpool, which I'm extremely enjoying, because obviously it's been a major goal of mine to draw Spider-Man since I was a kid. And if you look, you'll see that my Spider-Man is extremely influenced by Todd McFarlane, but I think it's still like, you know, I think I could still call it like my own Spider-Man. Like, I think it doesn't look exactly like Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, but you could definitely tell that I took influence from it. The only annoying thing is I have to draw his glowy eye costume, which I'm not really a big fan of, but that's the current continuity, so that's what you gotta do. Right, so I'm just going back and retouching some stuff here, just so I know that when I get into inks, everything's going to be complete guesswork. I'm trying to get more of a "aw" in his eyes. Okay, I think that's good enough to go to inks. And if anybody wants to know, I've been using Unitech Kuratoga 0.3 pencil to pencil this. Same pencil that Todd Knock uses. So you know it's good. So we're going to get to the inks stage, and then we'll be colouring it with Copic markers. So what I'm using now is just a kneaded eraser. It's this soft eraser, and I'm not going super hard on this. I'm just going over it lightly, and this is essentially just lowering the opacity of the image so it's easier to see me laying down inks. it's the same thing you would do on a computer, where you would choose to lower the opacity so you could ink over it. And a lot of people turn it to blue line, which is obviously a very good idea, but I don't have that luxury. You can get blue line pencils. I have some of them. The problem is they don't erase very well. They're a bit more permanent, and then, with the Copics, they kind of blend into that. So I try and avoid using them, even though they do look pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just putting the kneaded eraser away. I also use these when I'm doing my dip inking. This was a tip I picked up from a really good inker. So if I'm doing my dipping and I'm going across the paper, and you always get a bit of paper stuck in the nib, but if you have I have a ball stuck on my artboard, if you just kind of go over it like that, it'll take out the piece of paper and it won't get any of this stuff in the nib. So there's a little cheeky pro tip. And another pro tip is use this ink. It's the best. Dr. P.H. Melton's Black Star Matte. It's expensive, but it's worth it. Okay. No one asked about that, but now you know. The more you know, right? Okay, so now I'm going to use a 0.5 or 0.05 Unipin fineliner. I really like these because I work in a wireframe method, which is like the Freddie Williams DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawn Comics, where you do like your roughs and then you add wireframes. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color it then, and then I'm gonna add the final inks, and that is something I picked up by watching a lot of Japanese artists and how they work. And then also it lets your inks stay bold at the end, because a lot of times you use these Copics and the inks sort of wash out a bit, because these markers aren't exactly the most darkest of inks. So that's the process I'm gonna do. So let's begin. So I'm just adding extra details in the inks because I knew, I want him to look very detailed and barky. Changing up the posture of the bird there so it has a bit more personality. I kind of put her legs together a bit. I'm trying to add some swirls in as well, because bark is very swirly. And I think the key to doing this type of stuff is to create a sense of randomness. You don't want to get into the sort of get into a rhythm of doing the same old, because if you do that, then it doesn't look as fluid. It just looks repetitive. Same with like hair and stuff. Like if you draw like the same like hair strokes, it looks bland and boring. Like just try and get repetition. I mean, try and like have repetition, and I have 3 different methods of doing stuff. Like for bark, I got swirls, I've got cracks, and I've just got all around like this. This is an all around like that. This is a crack. See how the line's broken? And then we'll add a swirl there on the knuckle. And there's like having those 3 options in there. See, there's a crack and a swirl. Having those options in there just makes everything feel a bit like it's planned, but it's sporadic, if that makes any sense. I know, I'm not a teacher. I drew a robin because robins are like my favourite sort of all-around little dick. In England, we call birds dicks, by the way. I'm not just saying dick twice. So this is the part of his head that's in front of the part behind his head. So when I go back with the thicker inks, I'll make these a bit bolder as they're in front of these shapes back here. Because, you know, whatever's closest to you, it needs to be thicker inks, and whatever's further away needs to be thinner inks. And also to do with lighting as well. Thicker away from light, thinner away from light, which can get confusing, but you'll get used to it. Might take you years. Took me years. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just making it up as I go. So here's like I'm adding what would essentially be bags under somebody's eyes, but obviously he's a tree. So I have these swirls here to sort of represent nostrils. I don't know if he has nostrils. I don't even know if he breathes. If he does breathe, it would be photosynthesis, but he's got nostrils. Whatever. He's not real. There's no living tree. Well, there are living trees, but there is no living tree. You know what I mean. It's early. It's Sunday. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Try not to swear for the kiddos. If YouTube didn't have copyright infringement, I would definitely be playing the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack right now. Instead, we're just going to sit in nice silence. Everyone needs to be quiet. I need to concentrate. So I'm adding these back here to symbolize that they are in shadow behind his head. And I'm just following down because I feel like a glow from his eyes would still reflect up there. Got this big branch sticking out of his head. And that's the other thing about Groot. He really is open to any, like, you can tell it's Groot, but every artist draws him very differently. And I think that's cool. Like, he doesn't really have a set look because he's a tree and he can continuously change his appearance. And I really dig that. Like, one of my favorite Groots is, well, what's his name? Scotty Young's Groot. It's awesome. And his rocket. So I'm going to break up some more of these shapes so that they look more like big bits of tree, because I want him to feel like he's made of pieces. You know, bark is all separate and stuff. Big cracks. I think breaking it up makes him look a bit cooler. And more like a tree as well. Oh, thank you. Someone just said congrats for 1 year at Marvel. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a mental year. I've gone from making less than half of minimum wage every year, drawing independent comics, to now living in a house with my fiance and being with a new puppy. It's crazy. Like, life is getting on track, which is exciting. Any words on your book about None and Leave None Alive? Oh, that's on hold for now because I'm focusing on this other book I've been making called Rotten Luck, where issue 1 has already been drawn by an amazing artist called Marco McCagney. And I've just got to write the second and third issue and it will all be done. And then once that's done, I will be sending it off to Image and Boom and IDW and see if anybody has any interest in it. And if they don't, then I'll be bringing it to Kickstarter, because I do want to break in as a writer, not just an artist, because I'd eventually like to write and draw either my own Image books and or my own Marvel books. Maybe a cheeky Batman book. But my art's not ready to draw The Dark Knight yet. Too intimidating at this current moment. But Leave None Alive, I do want to make it. It's my 100 issue epic. Like, I want it to be 100 issues long. So I'm waiting until I have a much bigger following and maybe a couple of written books under my belt. So like, if I suddenly was like, hey, I'm starting this 100 issue epic over at Image, please come join me. I feel like right now people wouldn't really hop on, but maybe in the future, after I've done some more Spider-Man work and stuff like that, maybe people will be interested to come with me. Sorry, I always hit the camera in this thing. Do I want to add that extra neck bit there? Yeah, I'll add an extra bit of neck bit. What comics are you really into at the moment? I'm really into The Walking Dead. I think the story's being excellent right now. Rest in peace, a certain character, which I won't spoil for people, which has been my favourite character in the book for a very long time. It was sad to see that character go. And I've been reading Kill or Be Killed, which is another awesome Image book. I just started reading Secret Empire, which I think is great. Captain America is like my favourite Marvel superhero. So it's interesting to see the story unfold. And what I'm reading tons of stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I've been reading monthly for years. It's a great book. I've been reading All-Star Batman. Southern Bastards is like the best comic of all time. Been reading that. Outcast. Star Wars Darth Maul. Loads of comics. I don't have a comic shop near me, so I have to use Comixology. But I am subscribed to at least a good 50 comics a month, I think. Well, maybe not that many. Maybe like 25. But still, that's a lot of comics. But I always wait for sales and things like that too. And I subscribe to my own series because I like to see what my work looks like on Comixology, and a lot of times I'm like, ugh, like it looks good in print, but when you see it all digitized, it looks bad. What's Kill or Be Killed about? Kill or Be Killed is about this guy. It's written by Ed Brubaker, so you know it's good. It's about this kid that he's tried to commit suicide many times and he always fails somehow, or something happens where he miraculously doesn't die. So death comes to him. He's like, you owe me some, like, you've escaped death way too many times, so you owe me some lives. So you have to go out and kill someone every single month, or I'm going to kill you. And like at this point, he doesn't want to die, so he starts going out and he starts killing. He's like, well, if I have to kill people, I'll just kill people in the mafia and stuff like that, or bad people, and it just unravels from there. It's really good. I really recommend it. Okay, let's start with a very light base for old Groot's Magoots. Let's try some different colours out. These are Copic markers. I'm sure everyone knows what a Copic marker is. So let's just... recently I've been liking to just add colour to it, essentially like flats. Instead of using the white of the page, which I know an artist called Todd Knock does. I don't like that sheen look where everything looks super shiny, so I'm just going to make everything flats, just like you would do with real comics. But I know that you would add highlights from there, but I'm terrible, so... And I'm going to blend lots of browns and greens. And like I said, once this is all coloured, I'll be going back and adding the final touches of inks. And then you'll be able to see that it really pops after that. Try not to overlap too much because I want to go back with this to add a bit more shading in places that I think need shading. And I'm trying not to use too many different blends because I really like that like the way the colors look now. I like that. Like it's just like subtle colors. Like I like that. It's almost like watercolors, which I'm really trying to. I'm trying to get that look. So I may experiment on this and keep it a bit more basic than I planned. Am I going to MCM London this month? No, I'm not. I'm not going to conventions now unless I'm invited to them, which I know sounds really snobby. But I am so ridiculously busy. Like, I shouldn't even be doing this right now. I have no time to be doing, like, an hour sketch. I've got to get Spider-Man Deadpool done in, like, 2 weeks, and I've only got 3 pages done, so I'm royally screwed on that. So I only do conventions now if I get invited to them, because then I can plan them out. Well, I mean invited as in they get me a booth and all that stuff. Because last year I did MCM, and I didn't make any. I made basically no money, not even enough to cover my travel. And I had a deadline to draw Great Lakes Avengers, and I was like, you know what, I should have just stayed home because this was not worth it. I lost money, and I sat here for 3 days, and everyone at MCM is more interested in cosplay and entertainment than they are actually in people that draw comics. And I was the only one there that actually works for the big two and stuff. And I feel like MCM is not really the best for an artist. I think a lot of people buy prints and stuff like that, but for commissions and people there didn't realize like that people actually made comic books essentially. So I was really put off by that last MCM, so I'm not planning to go to any others unless I get invited to them. But they'll never do that because they have an artist alley, or comic village they call it, but they don't really care about the artists. It's all about the entertainment and merchandise. And that's not the type of con that I want to support. Like I'm going to be going to London Super Comic Con in August, and that is awesome. That is comic book focused. It's a great con. That's the same con where I got my portfolio reviewed by Marvel. Met CB Cebulski and stuff like that, so I love that place. I'll always have a special place in my heart. So MCM is not really my thing that I'm into anymore. Just trying out some greens that I wanted to add to the leaves. And I do want to add some green into him. I'm just going to try and find a bit more of a subtle green, and I'm going to blend some other colours. Because I think that brown base is good. I just need to find some stuff. Okay, this is a nice barky green. So I'm just going to add this in places kind of like shadow. And the green's going to blend nicely with the brown. I'm trying to get better at coloring because I feel like I'm terrible at it. For the bird, I'm going to make it a robin, so it'll be a brown with an orange chest, because I really like robins. See, this green is nice and subtle in there. It's not overpowering, but it's just enough where you're like, oh, cool. That's like, you're starting to see mossy textures a bit. So I'm putting thick green under his eyes because I want it to really separate. Okay. Now, I'm trying to blend some more interesting colours. I might put a tiny bit of yellow, a greenish yellow, but really subtly in spots. Because it's quite a strong colour. But I think in certain highlights it will look good. This is all just, just experimenting. Sorry, I was doing that off camera. I think this would actually be a good colour for his eyes. Really dark there. So the more you put down the Copics, the more colour starts to show. I'm sure you guys knew that already, but and I want to bring out a little bit more yellow in those eyes. So see if I can find. So that's a good canary yellow. So. Let's get a warm brown, and let's make just certain stuff a bit on the darker side. So this is just basically adding shadows. The League of Shadows. So I'm adding shadow right under his mouth there because I feel like his top bit of his face is kind of over it. I don't want to add too much of this shadow because then it will bring down the color of everything that I'm trying to do. I'm going to move on from Groot for now. I'm just going to let those kind of dry a bit. Let's get a subtle orange to start off his chest colour. This is the bird I'm talking about. Okay, and then let's go for a stronger orange. I'm also testing out all my colours on a pad next to me, just so I know that like everything is going to blend nicely. Like I'm trying to get a good palette of colours going. Because robins have a very strong orange top, and then it kind of fades a bit into a yellow. And then I'll go back to another yellow and just push it down. And then they're pretty much a neutral warm colour for the rest of the bird. Oh, sorry. Have I not been in camera? That was a W5, and I'm just going to blend it down with a W3. And then I'm probably just going to go over it with a bit of brown, the same brown that I did for Groot, because I don't want it to be too grey. Yeah, like that. And then let's use a cool color. Okay. I'm probably going to make his mouth black, to be honest, so it pops a bit more. And then the background color, I'm thinking a green. Oh, I don't like my coloring. I haven't been coloring for too long. There's a lot I need to learn. Yeah, I'm going to use a green for the background. Because I think that brings out some nice colors. Well, thank you. That was yellow, green 11. Oh, yellow, green 3 is stronger. I need a lighter color. Maybe yellow 2. Nope, that's stronger as well. That's good. Might put this yellow over the bird. I don't want too much white sticking out. You were made to do colours before I inked, actually. I like to do the colours before I add the final touches, because then I can really see the volumes and shapes and stuff. And the decisions I've made. Alright, I want to go a bit darker on some of his shadows, but I need to be careful because this is quite a dark colour. Would you recommend anything to a beginner at inking? Just know that inking takes so much time to learn. Like, it is very, very difficult. I still struggle a lot with it today. It's the hardest thing to do in comics, I think. But you just have to find what works for you. Because I ink in the Freddie Williams method. But I would recommend trying everything. So get a fine liner. This is a uni pinball. That's a really good one. Get some brush pens, like this zebra brush pen. And get, a Maru nib and some dip ink. And just experiment, because you'll find you might be better at certain stuff than other stuff. And then slowly you'll find that it's all kind of the same, and you'll just figure out what you really like out of all of it. It's tough. Inking is tough. I started with digital inking because it was just a bit easier. And I still digital ink some pages, like pages I know that I don't think people are going to want to exactly purchase. Then I'll do digitally because it's quicker. But I traditionally ink my pages. Maybe I'll show you guys my folder of pages at the end here. You'll be able to see some stuff that's not released yet. Could get in trouble. Would you guys want to see some pages when I finish this off? Okay, so this is a new thing I got. A Kurotake Fudegokochi, if that's how you say it. And I know, it's kind of cool. It's a nice little brush. It does bleed a bit though, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I like to use brush pens for my line weights, which is what I'm adding now. And I like trying new tools out. It's all about, the best tip I could give about inking is it's really all about using the lightest touch you possibly can. Because you'll be amazed at actually how thin you can make stuff where it kind of just feels like you're brushing on air. Who's my favorite to draw? My favorite person to draw? Professionally, it's Spider-Man. But I've always had this thing where I really want to get good at drawing Snake from Metal Gear Solid and Wolverine, but I still don't think I'm like the best at drawing them yet. But Spider-Man professionally, definitely, because that's just like extremely satisfying to draw. So I usually use fine liners for my liner, but I've seen a lot of people using brush pens instead. Is there a specific difference? Yeah, as you can see, the fine liner is kind of just like a dead line where I go in with these brushes, and it's all about line weight. So it's all about the thin to thick lines that you can create with it. And this just adds depth and stuff to the image. And it looks cool. Anybody get Mario Kart from the Nintendo Switch or Wii U? Actually, I think it only just came out on the Switch, the deluxe one. I'm not sure though. But I've been playing a lot of that recently. It's been good. So in these shadow bits on his neck, to add a bit more darkness to them, I'm just adding a bunch of little roots, because I feel like the roots underneath will make it look, from afar, it'll make it look like darker, basically. Nope. I've never considered getting into animation because I feel like that would be the worst thing ever. I used to do clay animation, and that's what I wanted to do, but animation is, yeah, like you said, it's so tedious, and I'd rather be a concept artist if I was going to be in that field. But I'm very happy working at Marvel. Like, drawing Marvel Comics, that is the job I always wanted, so I'm very happy doing that. But the next job I want to do, like I said, is to write, because there's a lot of panels that writers write for you that are just ridiculous and unnecessary. And it's also fun just to write stuff yourself. So I'm going in and definitely adding much more inks around these eyes. I just really want the black around the light because I think it makes the eyes pop. Yes, I would love to write Spider-Man. I didn't want to go full black there, so I just added some rendering. Yeah, exactly. I am spending way too much time on this. This was supposed to be a half an hour warm-up. Like, I need to get to work, so I'm going to speed this up. I don't know if you just heard Luna barking, but I just heard her barking downstairs. I don't live stream very often. I do a lot of warm-up sketches, but I find that when I do them, like this one, I spend more time on them, and I have less time to actually work for my day job, so I try to only do them when I just fancy recording them, to be honest. Otherwise, I just post on my Instagram the stuff I'm doing. What's my favourite villain? It's the Joker. He's the best. I know that's pretty cliche, but I don't care, because I think he's the best villain of all time. He's evil. Evil, evil, evil. Oh, Mysterio is cool. My favourite Spider-Man villain, I love the Shocker, but I just liked him as a kid. I don't know why, but I would have to say it's probably, I don't know, it's like a tie between like Venom and Hobgoblin. But Spider-Man it's different, like, because the Joker is the best Batman villain hands down. But all of Spider-Man's villains, I don't think he has like the best villain. I just think they're all pretty even level good. My Instagram is at Robson Inc. Which is all my social media. I haven't been reading Infamous Iron Man. I'm not really sure what's going on in that book. Just going back in with a brown to darken some stuff that I think needs a bit more darkness to it. This is like a desaturated brown. I was thinking he was looking a bit too bright, so I wanted to desaturate him in spots. Thanks. I still want to add some more to him. This is a green, a very earth green. So I've basically desaturated him. Made him a bit darker. I always like to start off light, because then, you know, obviously you can just go down and make it darker as you go, because if you start dark, you can mess everything up. Alright, this is very green, so I gotta be careful. I wanted to highlight his roots so that they are a different shade than anything else, because I think that adds a bit more depth to him. Add a bit more green to his leaves, because I feel like that green's been lost a bit. Groot's roots. Nearly done. I just feel like he needs to be a bit dirtier, you know. So I'm just going in with this warm grey to dirtify him. There we go. I think that looks a lot better. Mucho better. Perfecto. Okay, gonna take this Signo Uniball gel pen, and we're going to add a little sort of border around him to make him pop even more. This is something obviously picked up by watching Todd Knox videos on YouTube. I just think this is a nice little thing to sort of separate some bleeds or maybe fix some line weights as you go around and make everything pop. Just adding a bit of sparkle to his eyes so he doesn't look so dead. Have a good one. This is running out of ink, this gel pen. I think my spares are downstairs. My spares is downstairs. Where's mine? So now it's just have to sign it, and then we're kit and capoodle. Where am I going to sign it? I think probably here. What's the date today? Is it the 7th? I'm just going to say it's the 7th. And there we go. One Groot. So I can put it a bit closer so people can see. A happy little Groot and a happy little Robin. Thank you guys for watching. I gotta get back to work. Did not mean for this to be 80 minutes. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Bye. Oh, wait, hang on. I was supposed to show you guys some artwork, wasn't I? Let me do that. Let me bring the camera back a bit, and I'll just get my pad. Just get me pad. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna bring it back really wide so people can see the books. Is that good enough? I think that should be pretty much good enough. Get my light out the way as well. Okay, so this is just the book that I keep everything in. It's all 11 by 17. So this was This is the first page I traditionally inked for Great Lakes Avengers. You can see down there. I don't know if it's showing in the camera. There it is. See how I messed up on her hair and it's all white out? I tried to do stippling dots there, and that didn't work out. Let me see. Let me get a bit wider so you could see the whole pages. I have to get way back. That should be good enough. So a lot of this stuff you've already seen from Great Lakes Avengers. This was mostly done with nibs for the first time, playing with nib work, especially on the faces and stuff. I really like this page here. I need to get the camera back, don't I? Even more. It's hard to get it on this crane, like, to get a good view. I think that should be good enough, right? Yeah, I think so. Okay. So this was all super fun. This is mostly nib work. And what I love about nib work is you can, like, run your fingers across the page. You feel all, like, the ink bumps. It's not like a marker where it just sinks in. This was the first thing I ever tried to ink traditionally for a professional work. So this is a cover for Mankind for WWE. Shush, that hasn't been announced yet, so I'm just going to turn the page. This is interesting because I had to ink him in here. This is a doorman, but this is a ghost, and so I had to ink him on a separate page so that when I brought it in, he goes there. So it's all in the right place. I just had to move him over. So same with this. You see how, like, these are just floating in space? They should be really on this page over here. I really liked Doorman. He was super fun to draw. This is the page I did live on the live stream. I thought that came out really cool. A lot of people made fun of me for his pockets upside down, but the reference I was looking at, he had upside down pockets. This is the way Tony Moore did it. So, but the Deadpool I'm doing now, he doesn't have the upside down pockets. This is fun as well. You can rub your fingers on this and feel all the little bumps. Oh, there's something there I definitely can't show you. What's on the other side? Don't worry about it. Yeah, there. Like I said, there is some stuff here that I can't show. This is the big monster on the last issue. Or is this issue 6? I think this is issue 7. This is fun because I got to draw a little piece of everybody, and this is all done with nibs as well. So you can rub your finger on that. And the way I do, like, you see these little dots down here? I like to do this because it's sort of breaking the line into light. And what I use is the same Signo gel pen, that white pen that we were using. I use that to just break up the line because I think it makes it pop more. I think I could show this. This was for a Marvel Live book, so there's a bunch of different superheroes here. There's the cover for my first issue of Spider-Man and Deadpool. And, ooh, you can just look at that quickly. I think I posted that image of the first Spider-Man I've drawn professionally. I have to go back. I have to get rid of this here. This is the new logo here. This is a cover which you're not allowed to see, so don't look. But that's the new logo because he's got the glowy eye stuff. And that's it. Oh, there's an old sketch. An old Superman, Superboy thing back there. But yeah, that's all the stuff. Don't tell anybody I showed you any of that stuff, otherwise I'll get in big trouble. Okay guys, see ya. Bye.